welcome to this presentation, How to Make Your 2021 Financial Resolutions a Reality, of part of the UNLV Alumni Association's Wellness Week to kick off the year 2021. My name is Michael Gordon, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank Renee, Missy, and Blake in the Alumni Office for this opportunity. So today, like I said, my name is Michael Gordon. I have a company called the LV Financial Coach. I am a financial coach, and what does that mean? That doesn't mean that I sell you insurance or I try and sell you on the new get rich quick scheme. What that means is that I am like a fitness coach at the gym. I help people to become financially fit and stable and work towards their financial goals. Because we all know that money management is an underrated skill for almost everybody in the world, and especially for recent college graduates. So in this presentation, I plan to highlight some of those smart money moves you can make in 2021 to help you achieve a solid financial foundation. Just remember that one of the greatest skills you can learn is simply to manage your money more effectively. So what do I believe? I believe that if you get control of your finances and you break free from debt, you can live the life that you want without having to make the decisions, or to make the decisions that you want without having to worry about debt and financial obligations. So just think what you can do. You can travel the world, you can quit a job, you can quit a boss if you don't have a mortgage to pay or a car loan, if you're free from all that kind of debt. So just to look back real quick, I know this is not news for anybody, but last year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you will see here, the Bureau of Labor Statistics in November said that 10% of all Nevadans were unemployed, and that is not good news. Secondly, almost the Dieter, Nevada Department of Education, Training, and Rehabilitation said that almost 250,000 Nevadans continued their claims towards the end of last year. This is a slide that just shows how deep this recession was, the COVID recession, how quickly we lost jobs, and now we're busy with a slow recovery. And on this next slide, you will see it took almost 8 years for jobs to come back after the 2007-2008 recession. You'll see it looks here like a Nike swoosh. And in 2001, after the dot-com bubble, the recovery was more like a happy face. So here now, the red line is where we are now with the COVID pandemic. Most people now want to know, is this going to be a V-shaped recovery? V, are we going to quickly regain these jobs like this? Or is it going to be an L-shaped recovery? We're going to just stay flat for some time before eventually we come back up. So whatever it is, that is why you need to have a solid financial foundation, because whatever, we know there's going to be a next pandemic and next recession, but how are you going to be able to weather the next recession or the next pandemic? By making the moves now. So here is a question that I want you to think about. Do you want to live your life, or do you want to help a CEO live his or hers? Do you want to become debt-free? Do you want to increase your emergency fund? Will this be the year that you buy a home, purchase a new vehicle, or aggressively tackle your student loan debt? Whatever it is, I can help you, and part of this presentation will show you some moves that you can make. But following a spending plan can help you allocate your money to make sure that you hit those financial goals. And then you got to think through, any significant life changes that are coming up. Are you going to get married? Are you moving in with your significant other? Do you have a birth, or perhaps you want to adopt a child? Do you want to finish college debt-free? Or maybe you want to start your own side hustle or your own business. Whatever it is, let me show you how to get on firm financial footing. So as most of you know, this is the new year, so most people have New Year's resolutions, and it's no surprise to you that almost every year the resolutions, and this is for 2020 because, of course, we don't have the results for 2021 yet. But for 2020, most people wanted to lose weight and save more money, right? And it's probably the same for this year, whatever whatever it is. But just like your home, your financial house needs constant upkeep, and it's easy to forget what you must maintain once you've put it in place. So let's look at, if that is your financial goal, something related to finances, let's look at some moves that you can make, right? So think back to last year. Did you achieve your financial goals or any of your goals, right? If you didn't, were they left unfinished? Was it because you were unmotivated? Or was there, unexpected car trouble that happened in January? So all of a sudden your whole financial goal was derailed. Whatever it was, this is the year that it can be different. You can wipe the slate clean, so to speak. What happened in 2020, whatever you think of 2020, that year is gone. It's over. And you have a chance to write a new story, one in which you can accomplish everything you set out your mind to do. But how do you do that? Okay, so let's look at today's agenda, what we're going to talk about. First up is I'm combining financial goals with fitness goals, since we saw that those were the top two goals that most people have. So let's talk about, in fitness terminology, we're going to warm up. Let's look at what we can do. That's like most people wanting to run a 5K, right? A 5K run, let's do a little warm up, a slight jog. Then we're going to move on to the training. Some people may have goals to run in a half marathon or a full marathon. Whatever it is, you need consistent training. Then the race, some people want to go beyond a marathon, right? They want to do an ultra marathon or some of these crazy Ironman. Let's look at some moves you can make there. And then finally, stretching. If you have no time and if you don't have any financial goals, that is fine. There are still two items that you can do that is almost effortless, that will take you less than 30 minutes to accomplish. So wherever you are in the financial spectrum, I'm going to talk about it in terms of fitness. Like I said, so let's start off with the quote, easy one, a 5K. So what can you do if you want to run a 5K? The first two things I want you to do is, number one, is focus on your health. Now you may say, Michael, what does health have to do with my finances? But I want to tell you that staying physically and mentally healthy is the most important thing you can do right now. The CDC said that almost 40%, 4 in 10 Americans, said that they were struggling with mental health. So taking care of yourself and your physical and mental health will also have a positive effect on your finances. Because if you don't do that, some people can create negative habits when they're not in a good space physically or mentally. And when you are feeling good, you are less inclined to buy unnecessary items. And that will also help you focus on your future. So first off is focusing on your health. Secondly, I want you to look at your budget. Maybe you've already adjusted your budget because of COVID. COVID completely destroyed your budget. But as the year begins, it's again the right time to look at your budget and to look at your bills and to make sure that you're not spending more money than you need to. You may be able to cut down on your grocery bills by trying different stores in your neighborhood, because prices can vary a lot between the different national chains. So if you always like to shop at Albertsons or Smith's or Walmart, try another one of those, because the prices can vary and you can save money. But it's not always about focusing on the budgeting, right? That can be tough if you're already struggling financially. So the other thing you could try to do is to eliminate as much non-essential spending as possible. Now you can say, Michael, how is that possible? How can I cut more if I don't increase my income? Well, one way to look at it is to just reevaluate last week or last month or whatever it was. Look at those expenses, and then I want you to specifically look and see, was there a space where your satisfaction in purchasing that item was unequal to the cost? For instance, if you like Starbucks, or if you wanted to buy new shoes or a new handbag or whatever it was that satisfaction that you received from buying that item, was it equal to the cost? If it was, great, then continue to do that. If you want to buy more Starbucks, if you need your Starbucks every morning, or if you need that new pair of shoes, great, whatever it is for you. But make sure that the so-called cost benefit analysis is equal to what you want out of that item. Then you can justify your spending. So what is a smart move you can make here? A smart money move? I want you to prioritize cash as much as you can, wherever you can. Use cash as much as possible, because just the physical act of handing over those dollars, well, first of all, in your wallet, you'll have less of it. But secondly, you're more intentional when you have to hand over that cash. So figure out if that item is really something that you need and want. Okay, now, like I said, let's look at the people who want to run a half marathon or a full marathon. A half marathon, of course, is 13.1 miles. That first 0.1 is the easiest, right? It's the second part that's the hard part. So if that's where you are on your financial journey, if you've got some moves already in place, you're already healthy, you have your budget in place, what else can you do? So what I would suggest is your emergency fund. COVID has certainly shown us the need for an emergency fund, because we don't know what the future is going to hold, right? We want to make sure that you have enough in place in your emergency fund in case the unexpected happens. We know people have salary reductions or have experienced salary reductions, job furloughs. Your car may need new tires or a new battery, whatever it is. Emergencies happen. So if you have the means, I want you to bump that up. Most people say that you should aim for 3 months of an emergency fund, and if you can, bump it up to 6. But now, because of COVID, people are talking about a 9-month or a 12-month emergency fund. You have to decide where you're comfortable on that spectrum. But whatever it is, if you're at 3 months, aim for 6 months. If you're at 6 months, aim for 9 months. Whatever it is, bump up your emergency fund as much as you can. So, because why, right? We're seeing right now people who don't have an emergency fund. Some people literally don't know where they're going to stay, and even if they're going to be able to afford their house, because they don't have an emergency fund because of COVID. So build a little buffer for yourself, between yourself and life. And then secondly, max out your 401k. If you didn't put in the maximum amount into your 401k, your 403b, or your thrift savings plan, now is the time to add more. The contribution limit for 2020, yes, I said 2020, the contribution limit for those younger than 50 is $19,500. So if you have a Roth IRA, you can put aside $6,000, and you can put aside an extra $1,000 if you're 50 or older. So why do I talk about 2020 when we're in the year 2021? Because you can still contribute for the 2020 financial year. You have until April 15th to do this, tax day. So before tax day, you can still make contributions for the year 2020. So if you haven't maxed it out, please max it out before tax day. Now is the time. So what is the smart move that you can make here, especially in boosting your emergency fund? In order to visit, I want you to visit thesmartfinancial.com, because in order to increase your emergency fund savings, you have to decrease some of your bills to give you that delta, that change that you can put in your savings. So look at all your insurance coverage. Look at homeowners, or if you're not a homeowner, renters insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, umbrella insurance, auto insurance. Check how much you're currently spending, and then go to smartfinancial.com. I am not affiliated with them. I don't get any kickback. This is just a site that I find is very useful. Go to smartfinancial.com, answer a couple of quick questions, and then based on your answers, they'll look through 200 insurance companies to find the lowest prices in your area. They'll even find some discounts that you may be eligible for if your car has airbags or daytime running lights, or whatever it is, that is a way for you to compare, at least to make sure that you're getting the best price for your auto insurance. Now, finally, we're talking about these people who go all out. Like I said, they want to run an ultra marathon, or perhaps they want to swim Alcatraz or participate in an Ironman. If that is where you are in your financial life, if you have already done your budget tune-up, your insurance rates, you have your emergency fund, and this is where you are financially, here's some pieces of advice that you can take also to strengthen your financial position. So be clear on your taxes, right? So having less pay withheld throughout the year can improve your cash flow management. So why do I say that? Because 2/3 of taxpayers, that is 111 million Americans, received a refund from the IRS last year. The average tax refund was $2,900. Now, it may be nice to get that money back from the IRS, because people say, I want to pay less in taxes, because if you get that $2,900 back, guess what? That's almost $240 a month that's coming extra out of your salary earnings, that you can apply that $240 to boost up your emergency savings or pay down your debt. Because if you don't do that, if you get a $2,900 refund, guess what? You're basically loaning money to the government at 0%, because when you get that $2,900 back, they're just giving back your own money back to you once you file your taxes. So make sure you don't get a big refund check, that you have that money that you can spend every month to pay down your debt or to boost your emergency fund. And second, a side hustle. Most people are looking at side hustles these days. So if your income was disrupted because of COVID, or if you just want to boost your income, now is the time. There is a plethora of online marketplaces where you can showcase your work, everything from web design, voiceover, book editing, whatever it is. Most of these side hustles can be done from the comfort of your home. So there is places like, of course, Fiverr, DoorDash, Uber, Swagbucks. If you haven't heard of it, Swagbucks gives you points for watching TV, so you can sit on your couch. Or there's places like VIP Kid, where you can teach English to kids in China, Korea, Japan. So use your talents to boost your income. So what is the smart move that you can make here? Is schedule an appointment with a tax accountant to make sure that your taxes and your withholdings are right. And also, if you start a side hustle, your tax accountant will be able to tell you what items you can deduct from your taxes. Because if you're driving for Uber and you have to buy a hand cart to push the items up and down or deliver it to the door, those are things that you can deduct from your taxes. And then if you don't like to run, if you have no financial goals and no fitness goals, you never want to run, even with scissors, you don't want to run. What are some things that you can do that are almost effortless if you only have 30 minutes? If you do nothing else. One is confirm all your beneficiaries, because all accounts, IRAs, life insurance, bank accounts, investments accounts, whatever it is, all of those accounts require you to name a beneficiary. And you should check that at least annually. But if there's been a birth, a death, marriage, whatever it is, you may want to check and update your beneficiaries. You may say, Michael, I don't have time for that, and it can wait till next year, or it can wait till later. But guess what? The price of not updating your beneficiaries means that the wrong person will inherit the asset. So if you want to make sure that the asset goes to the person you intend to, make sure you have the right name of the beneficiary on your items, on your documents. And then secondly, get your free credit report. This is the start of the year. All of us are entitled to one free credit report once per year. So Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, just go to them and you can request your free credit report. Now, why do you need to do that? Because guess what? You need to start saying, the moves that I make now, the financial moves, you may not worry about it now, But 5, 10, 15 years down the line, when you are ready to purchase a home or purchase another car, you need to make sure you understand how the banks are using this to track your financial score and view your credit worthiness. And also, a solid credit score will unlock the best interest rates on a variety of products, including mortgages, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. And in the era that we live in now, of course, identity theft. So review your credit report, because that's how you can catch any illegal loans that were taken out in your name by identity thieves. Because the earlier you catch these fraudulent items, the easier it is to do something about it. So that is it. But I want you to remember, as we wrap up here, that as nothing can destroy iron except rust and iron itself, that is the same with your mindset. You have to believe, your mindset is key. You have to believe that no matter what your financial situation is, you can improve it. Don't just focus on the outcomes. Don't just say, oh, I want 3 months emergency fund or 6 months or 9 months. Don't just focus on the outcomes, but rather focus on the habits that you can incorporate now. Do you really need that pair of shoes? Do you really need to stop at Starbucks? Whatever it is, focus on those habits, and the habits will lead to the outcomes that you want. So if you are ready to tackle your budget and revisit your financial goals, now is the time to do it. Remember that action creates clarity. The action you take will show me, us, the world, what it is that's really important to you. Don't just financially sleepwalk through 2021, and then in December wonder why your financial resolutions weren't checked off. Commit to act. Make the commitment that you will take whatever it is, even if it's just to check your beneficiaries or get that free credit report. Commit to act to make those a reality. So if you're serious about achieving your financial goals and resolutions, you can contact me. There's a free 30-minute phone call where we can look at your current financial situation and we can discuss next steps that work for you. So you can see my contact information there on the screen. And if you don't have a pen to write down the pertinent information, you can just always Google LV Financial Coach, or you can find me on the social channels, and I'll be happy to talk to you. So thank you for the opportunity, and here's to you and to your financial success in 2021.